I like your backdrop.
All right, I'm winging
There
it.
you go. It's recording. You got 40 minutes. Go.
40 minutes. All right, go. All right. Well, this is the Talking Wiffleball podcast. I couldn't come up with a more creative name for this, so that's what we're rocking with. I'm Brodey. Play on the waves. Reed, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Reed. I'm the hero of the waves.
And then we got Commish Cale with us.
Yeah, I'm your producer, your guest, your distributor. I'm everything for you, Brody.
He's the stats guy.
I'm happy that there's a jail show again. So I'm just here to help.
I wanted to get it going, dude. We need a place to talk. We need to get some people on here and get some voices heard.
What's
So I think
Anthony doing?
probably sitting on his couch.
Get him in here.
Dude, we're on a timer, man. Anthony's gonna talk the whole time if we get him on here.
That's true.
All right. Well, wait, Kel, I got a question for you. You guys have a team group chat?
The Cobras?
Yeah.
No. Like a
You
group
don't?
chat, like where everyone's in it.
Who's the
Yeah.
manager of that team?
God damn. Dude, I want
Do
to
we
know.
need one?
I don't know. We have one and it's just a straight comedy show. Like,
No,
It's-
we have a you and Anthony group chat. Is all it is.
dude, it's like make fun of Brody hours what it is.
What about Derek? How much input does Derek Anderson still have for the
Probably 3
Waves?
texts every
from
2
from
weeks.
from input?
How much influence? How much influence?
Oh,
None.
it
None.
Because I hear there's
none.
actually quite a bit still, even though he lives in Arizona and hasn't played in the league for like 3 years now.
Well, I mean, we get texts from him occasionally. Like if we're talking to the group chat about something serious and we're not like fucking
The
off.
only thing I've heard him say was about his kid. Something about his kid.
No, that was Aaron. That
Oh,
wasn't Derek.
I don't have everyone's numbers, so
Yeah, what kind of manager am I? I don't have everybody's
No.
phone numbers.
someone's setting me up for failure.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, I don't. He talks every once in a while, but I mean, anything really wiffle ball related's been up to me and Anthony for the last couple seasons. Even when I wasn't the GM, I had my input. Well, you got.
The
I want
Waves
to
have been
know.
getting better, at least this season. So there's that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a large part of that has to actually do with Reed, but it's nice to have backup, especially when I can't.
I thought was hilarious. Newspawn. So Newspawn gives you the GM job. Well, like early last year or early or midway.
Yeah, it was
year.
like late last year.
And he kind of like isn't around as much once that happens. And like a little before that happens, and then he's like not around at all at the beginning of the season, and then you guys are like winning a little bit, and then all of a sudden Duson's back around, and then after
he's back to take his credit.
yeah, and then afterward he texts me after your guys' most recent game day, and he's like, I'm gonna be around a lot more. Actually, I'm gonna be
Okay,
at
but
all
he
the
did
games,
make a
and I
clutch
might
pitching
bat
team.
in all the games, and I'm like, you are just such a bandwagoner on your own team.
Hey, I'd rather him bandwagon us than someone else. God damn.
He's pretty entertaining. So
Dude, he's fun to have around. I like it when he's there. I'm glad Aaron's back too. That'll be huge.
That's a big boost. That's a big
especially
boost
if we can get him back. I mean, he hit
even if he's only there like half of the games, and if he's there for 4 out of 8 games each year, and then he's there for the playoffs, assuming you guys like make the playoffs, that's big.
Yeah, no, I'm super happy he's back. I mean, even like you said, if he can only make half the games, it's a win for us. So.
I haven't met him yet.
Dude, yeah, you're in for a treat.
He's funny.
Dude, Aaron's a goofy guy. I love Aaron though. I don't know. What do you think about the Cobras, Cale? I want to hear your thoughts on your season so far.
Well, it's been a lot like
That's not a good
many
start.
of the seasons in recent Cobras history, where there's promise early and then not a lot of wins following through after that.
You guys got to get yourself a pitcher.
He's trying to butter me up to get me on that team.
You know what? I've had a lot of bad luck with pitching prospects that are like newer
Oh,
guys.
dude, you're like notorious for it.
Yeah. I'm like stuck. So I'm stuck in this weird spot as sort of the manager of the roster of this team because I haven't had a good pitcher for basically since Evan Bates for like several seasons now. And each season I keep just trying like some kind of basically new like rookie prospect type of kid or guy who like when I'm recruiting to come play like seems like a good prospect they all have and they maybe have shown like glimpses of it so I ride with them throughout the season and then just come the end of the season they just the numbers just don't really like show that they're going to be that great of a player and so then the next year I kind of just have to do that again because by doing that I don't really either have any great tradable assets to like get a proven veteran pitcher to like just go that route. I don't really have the assets. Mine is just like opening my wallet and like giving you $500 for Reed to come play on my team.
Wait, you're gonna give me $500?
I mean, a couple more
Later,
seasons,
later, Reed.
Later.
a couple more
Yeah,
seasons, a
goodbye.
couple
You're
more
giving me
1 or 2
250.
win seasons, and we may have to go there. We may have to.
Yeah, Brody, go for it. Here's my
But
question for you, Cale.
but
Um,
I like Kevin
I was going to ask you, was
Barnett.
Kevin a bust?
Well, see, that's the thing is it's still too early. Like,
It's not.
well, I mean, he beat you guys though.
Well, dude, he pitched the lights out against us.
But that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
yeah,
Like, he
kudos to
pitches lights
him.
out
Dude.
against you guys, beats you guys, and then it's like, okay, I guess he'll
Great.
Something's
start a
there.
pitcher
Something's
finally.
there.
And then he comes out the next day and gives up like, 40 and 35 runs. And it's
He
like,
didn't tell you that though. Like that game was just, I don't know what the stars align because that's not Kevin.
Yeah, well, so what I'm thinking, right? I think Chase and Kevin have really proved this year that you can't not touch a wiffle ball and then come show up and be a good pitcher anymore.
well, you can though, because look at Eric Titus
But
and
they've
Colt
been doing it for like
Titus
8 years.
and well, yeah, it's true.
But like, I mean, Chase is still like, well, this is Chase's fourth, third season,
He
third,
was a
fourth.
rookie in 21 or 2,
Yeah, so
22, I think.
fourth
Uh,
or third.
22, 23, 24, fourth.
Yeah, I don't.
But he won the pitching crown last year, and I
know.
guarantee he didn't touch a ball between
Probably not.
JL 23 and JL 24. So I think it has more to do with in the regular season, pitching, like your numbers and all that, has a lot more to do with your opponents, number one, and then also like who are the opponents you're playing on this in the second game of a game day when you have like the standard game
yeah.
day when you have 2 games
Yeah.
because especially for power pitchers like Chase, Jared
Yeah,
Shagul,
Shagul.
Colton Titus to some degree, Eric Titus to some degree, guys that just like power the ball basically. If you take a good look at like who their opponents have been in sort of those second games of game days, then those numbers tend to go up.
I want to see a comparison of Jared's numbers game one to like game two because I feel like
we did that once.
There's gonna be night and day difference there.
Yeah, no, we did that once in the media like a season or two ago, and it was
Really?
Yeah, no, I think we did it for Chase too, and it was pretty eye-opening.
Well, dude, that's why I was happy we got them on the second game after they played the Lynx because I just watched him throw his arm out. I'm like, oh, we have a chance at this game, and then Reed saved us. Do you guys think the Bambinos are going to lose a game? That's the other thing I want to talk about.
I think they will, yeah.
Who do you think is going to beat them?
Well, this hasn't been like put as breaking news yet because I'm kind of waiting to see like what the verdict is going to be, but Colton was at the last game day the Bambinos played.
Yeah.
And then like when they're warming up, he ended up leaving and he went to urgent care because the last couple days before that he had like abdominal pain from something. And I don't necessarily know how much like details he wants out there about like what his injury is or whatever, so I won't say anything. But basically, he has like an injury and he will probably, he said, need surgery on it, and he's not sure like how long it'll take for him to be like, okay, I can like swing a bat again for wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Now, as we know, the jail season is like a very spaced out thing. So like he could easily be back and playing like next month or July, or certainly by the playoffs in August, but like they'll probably won't have him for at least another game or two.
Mm-hmm.
So that could affect things. But then also like,
I mean, they handled business without him.
yeah, I mean,
So, like
but the
they,
thing is, if you look at the Bambino's history, like, here, I'll pull it up. They've won the last 3 titles. However, they went 7-1 in jail 22, 6-2 in jail 23, 6-2 in jail 24. So like they've been accustomed to losing a couple games even in this
He
kind
wasn't
of
even there for the
run they're on.
championship, wasn't he? On one of those.
What do you say?
he was
Wasn't he
there
not
last
there
year.
on the last championship?
What about the last championship?
He wasn't even at that game.
No, he
Right?
was.
I thought there was a championship game he wasn't there because then there was a post.
Yeah, no, he wasn't at the jail 22 playoff game day, but they won behind Eric without him.
Because what happened when you made that post that was like that one guy saying, "Well, if I wasn't there, I don't know if I'd consider that a win." It was like kind of shit talking Colton.
Yeah, I forget who, because at that
Wasn't that when like Tegan wasn't there and
well,
someone didn't want to
That's not
reschedule a game?
Bambinos.
I don't know if it was that. I know at the time that the Bambinos won the jail 22 championship, Colton wasn't at the playoffs game day for that one. They won it without him, and that was Colton's individual first championship that he won, but he wasn't at the playoffs. So a lot of people
Yeah, I think that
in
is
the
what it
league
is.
were like, it doesn't count, even though he, I think maybe like won batting crown that year or something. So it's like,
Yeah.
of course it counts. It's like a star player that's like injured in the playoffs or something, but his team still wins. He still
Yeah,
gets a ring.
you still get a ring.
But I mean, Colton followed that up the next season by literally hitting the walk-off home run to win it. And then last year they
Yeah.
won by like 30 runs. So, and he pitched. So, I mean, I don't think nobody's really saying that anymore.
I mean, I think the Tice brothers are like tied for like best player in the league. I would say. And I think Tegan and Blake are close. But I mean, I feel like those are the two like top guys, and they're on
Well,
the same team.
let me ask you, who do you think will win? And like, who's your 2 guys' prediction to win MVP as of right now?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different ways to look at it. I mean, I look at it solely on like that one player is like that team's success. And I feel like
We
it's
talked
Blake.
about this today, actually.
We had a conversation about this today. I think it's Blake just because with no Blake, that team doesn't win.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, because he kind of sauced me up, and I really want to beat that team. I do think it's him.
Yeah,
I don't really think it's close either, because that team is not like he's pitching his ass off, and that team would be good without him.
Yeah, I think like I think Tegan and Eric and Colton are probably like those 4 are like in the running for that. But I feel like you could take Colton or Eric away and they could still win games.
Yeah.
And I think if Matthew comes back for the Lynx, I think like Tegan, he doesn't have to do everything himself. But I feel like Blake solely has to carry that team.
Because do they have another pitcher?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Tucker was okay.
The Underdogs have a kid named Tucker Amrine, who's like considered their backup, and he's actually
he wasn't bad that game.
No, he's okay. He's like what I call an analytics power pitcher in the league, which is like he doesn't have a bag of stuff, but he'll throw it with decent velocity and he'll put it in the strike zone most of the time. So he'll make the other team beat him.
Right. Yeah.
I just if you're playing a mediocre JL team, a lot of times
that'll win
like you can win with
game.
that strategy, just like win a highish scoring game around like in the 20s sometimes range.
Yeah, they're not a 4-0 team without him.
No, for sure.
And if they
Who do you
finish
think,
if
Joe?
they finish the season with a good record, I feel like it has to be him. He's getting my vote if unless they absolutely collapse and lose the next 4 games.
Yeah, no, and you're on like if you kind of go back and look through the history of guys that win MVP in the league, it tends to be someone who is kind of on a team that like it's obvious if he wasn't on that team, the team wouldn't be very good, but is also has like MVP numbers, but maybe
Right.
like Chase Johnson's MVP in well actually
Last season.
no. Well he won MVP in 23 and then
Oh, that's
Tegan
right.
won it last year
Yeah,
in
that's
24, but neither of them won a crown award. So neither of
No.
them were the pitching crown or the batting crown winner, but they
Like
got
Blake has
MVP.
potential to win both.
Well, yeah, but that's why last year I thought Eric Titus was going to win MVP, and then I thought about that. I was like, well, like he kind of gets snubbed a little bit from his brother because
Well, the other
they
thing
share
too
that
is
spotlight.
I actually I don't know actually if it has to do with people viewing the person they vote for to win as like the person who is the most actually valuable to the team so much as it is like
Mhm.
they have good numbers on both sides of the ball. That is a very seems to be a very big factor.
Yeah. I mean, well, who do you think, Kel? Who do you think's taking it this year?
Uh at the moment, I think you're right with Blake. Um, but if Colton's going to be out for some time and Eric continues hitting like this, and Eric
Yeah.
has to pitch, you
Yeah.
know, more of their
Mhm.
games than usual, and he has like maybe not the best ERA by the end, but he has a very good ERA, and he has because Blake's batting numbers are good too, but they're not like amazing.
Mhm.
Whereas Eric could have,
Both. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening too.
I got a quick
But the other
question.
thing too is the underdogs have a very good chance based on their remaining schedule to go 8-0, whereas the Bambinos still have to play the Lynx twice, they still have to play the Wrecking Crew again. There's actually, even though the Bambinos are better than the underdogs, I think you could argue there's a better chance the underdogs could finish 8-0 than the Bambinos, in which case it's
No.
going to be hard not to give an MVP to a guy's team who
That
he
yeah.
carried to an undefeated season. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Reed, what do you think?
Real quick, I have one question. Didn't you guys brought up Eric not getting MVP last year? I heard, and I wasn't in the league. I just heard this from him that last year he only gave up 9 runs the entire season.
Let me pull up the
Yeah,
stats. We'll fact check
pull up the
this.
stats, fact check that.
Because that's crazy.
Well, dude, he was nuts last year on the mound.
I should just talk a bunch of shit about Eric. I like Eric.
He said he only gave. No, this is not true.
I was gonna say, I was like,
All right.
that sounds wrong, but
JL 24 pitching stats. He pitched six. Here, he started 6 games. Colton started 2 games. Eric had a 5.86 ERA. Colton had a 14.5 ERA. So Eric pitched more and was way better than Colton. However, I believe Colton pitched both of the Bambinos playoff games last year
he did.
when they dominated their way to the title. So
Well, that Eric pitched in the championship.
no, Colton pitched in the title.
You sure?
I think Eric subbed or oh, I know what it was.
I
I
think
know what it
Colton
was.
pitched the first 2 games and then
Colton
Eric
pitched the
came in.
first game. Well, they only had 2 games because they had a bye, but I think Colton pitched the
Right.
first game. Eric started the second game, struggled kind of early, and then they made a substitution. Colton came in
That
and
makes
like
sense.
shut it down. Because early in that Bambino's Fog title game last year, I think like both teams were just hitting the ball, and it was like kind of high scoring at first, and then Colton
Mhm.
subbed in, and like that was ball game.
Yeah, they pulled away.
The
Well,
Bambinos kept hitting, and the Fog stopped hitting.
the Lynx are still undefeated. You see a way where they go 8-0.
Let me look at their schedule. I know they got to play the Bambinos twice, so
Yeah,
that's
they got to play the Bambinos twice, and then they have Sasquatches on their schedule still,
no, they'll beat the
right?
Sasquatches.
Who else? Who's that fourth game?
No, okay, so they have the Bambinos twice, the Wrecking Crew once, and
Oh,
the Express once.
oh, so they did
Oh,
play Sasquatches already.
actually, that is a very tough last 4 games.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think those. Well, who do you think? Do you think the Lynx are going to be the team that would beat the Bambinos? Is that where you were getting at earlier?
I think the Lynx are the most well equipped, like roster structure wise, to beat the Bambinos. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that makes sense.
especially in the regular season when they will like play a doubleheader most likely back to back.
Mhm.
Because if Matt's there, you can, if the Bambinos trade out Colton for Eric, so they're both fresh in each game. The Lynx can also do that, trade out Tegan for Matt.
Yeah, that's like a me and Reed on steroids. Like that. I mean, that's two MVPs in the same
Yeah,
bullpen.
and also the thing about what the Lynx have, see the thing about the Bambinos is like I feel like in order to beat the Bambinos, you have to there's to me there's like 3 different types of pitchers in the league. There's power pitchers, there's finesse pitchers, and then there's pitchers who can like do both.
Mm-hmm.
Tegan, you have to have a player that can basically do both to beat the Bambinos because they hit the power pitchers too well.
Mm-hmm.
And their pitchers are good enough that they're going to keep the score relatively low.
Yeah.
So you got to have power hitters as well, guys that can like get instant offense off just one hit, not like play the analytics, which they do have in Tegan on both sides. Like Tegan can. That's why I felt like losing Josh last year was a big kind of loss for them,
Yeah.
for the Wrecking Crew. Because now they kind of only have Tegan to play that role in the batting, but they still have Tegan for pitching to be able to like kind of quiet their bats because he just has some crazy stuff.
Dude, that screwball like drop thing, whatever he calls it, dude, it's nasty. When
He
that
throws
thing's
it 9
on,
feet in the air and
it's
drops it into the
nasty.
corner.
But see, this
I
is why this same reason I just said is why I also think that the Wrecking Crew can't, they're built in a way where they cannot beat the Bambinos because they can hit with the Bambinos for a little while with Josh and Chase, but they have nothing to shut their bats down.
no.
Like even when Chase pitches his A game, they're still gonna hit him 5, 6 times.
Yeah, I'm easily. And Chase will tell you that too. I've talked to Chase about it multiple
Right.
times.
So like the Wrecking Crew, in my opinion, can beat the Lynx because Chase pitches power and he pitches in a very efficient analytic strikes way, whereas Tegan doesn't necessarily. So Tegan can sometimes like beat himself
Yeah.
and Chase can just be real efficient. And the Wrecking Crew have enough bats, they can beat the Lynx that way. But Wrecking Crew versus Bambinos, they can't win, in my opinion, because they can't hold up
Yeah.
pitching. They don't have someone that can just like throw some junk to
Yeah. Screw them
fight
up.
them down. But the Lynx can beat the Bambinos. So it's really like the jail is way more about matchups than I think people think.
Yeah, I think so too. Uh, something another new. I think with Caden Schultz back, I like the Express. I like the Express a lot more now that he's throwing again.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they just rake. Like they're another team that just crushes the ball.
Yeah, Connor is a great. He's an all-time great
But
in the league for batting.
I don't think there's someone in the league that swings harder than he does. Like when
He
he,
had like 18 hits in one game last year.
yeah,
2 years ago.
it was like in the 20s, wasn't it, or something
Something like that.
stupid like that, or was that RBIs? I can't remember.
I actually think they have the makeup to be able to be a team that can beat the Bambinos too. The problem is they already played them earlier this year when Caden wasn't pitching and they lost
Yeah.
that game. So now the only
Well-
way it can happen is if they get into the playoffs, which they probably will need to beat the Lynx to do.
Yeah. But I mean, Mateo, he only gave up what, 7 in that game?
Yeah, but Mateo, he's a finesse pitcher with no
Yeah,
power. So
yeah.
he's a regular season pitcher that you put out there. You need in a pinch if a guy's not there. If you're trying to
Yeah,
get someone rest,
he's
that
the inning eater.
can beat a mediocre or lower end team during the regular season, but you can't pitch him in the playoffs to have any chance.
But I mean, yeah, I think with Caden back, that looks it's going to be another interesting playoff race over there in the AC, just like it was last year. I mean, there was 5 teams fighting for 3 spots essentially. Like they were all close, right? Or no, it was 4. Yeah, it was Express, Wrecking Crew, Lynx, and Bambinos were all like within a couple of games of each other.
Yeah, but the AC is more like, to me, in terms of the playoffs and the playoff picture, is more like top heavy, but it still seems fairly predictable. The national to me is the one that's like wide open still. It
Yeah,
could go a lot of
it's
different directions.
are the Fog mathematically out? I was trying to think about that.
I don't think so yet.
So if they win
Are the
out once,
lawmen mathematically out?
Are the what?
The lawmen.
No, nobody's mathematically out and nobody's mathematically in yet. I would have
I get
posted
Colton
it
in
if
here.
they were already.
yeah, I mean, I'm just 0-5 is
Tough.
scary. Because I feel like a lot. I mean, 0-5 and 0-4. I mean, a lot of things got to happen.
That's tough.
I'm looking at it right now.
No, I don't think nobody's sitting around right now thinking that they have a chance though. Those teams don't even think they have a chance. So they're just trying to build something for the future.
I just want to see the posts where it's got like the 95 different things that have to happen for the Fog to make the playoffs.
I will tell you this though, and I will be curious to see what you two guys think. I feel like if the lawmen were in the national, they would have a chance. Because I actually think Colton isn't he's a better pitcher now than he was when he was on my team. And Nick
yeah, 100%.
Nick Proudfit is
He's good.
one of the best
I don't care what anyone
backups,
says.
if not
I
the
remember
best
him 4
backup
years ago
pitcher.
when I was on the Wrecking Crew, and he was good. He
Yeah,
wasn't great, but like
Yeah, no, he's like they have 2 not great but solid pitchers, and then their batting hasn't done very well yet, but they're capable.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that's far
think
off.
I think if you put them in our conference, I don't think they do amazing, but I definitely think they do a lot better. I don't think that's any question.
I mean, I feel like Colton just needs to develop into that guy. Like he needs to be the dude for that team.
Well, I hear he puts a lot of work in.
Oh, he's with us all the time, dude. We
He was trying to
practice
pick me up for a
constantly
while.
I mean, Morning, you got 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
already.
All right, who
Yeah.
do we want to shit talk? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, who do you want to shit on here? All right. Well, I guess since we don't have much time left, who do you think the 3 in the national conference is going to be in order for the playoffs?
Reed,
Reed, go first, quick.
I don't know the conferences. What's the national conference?
oh my god.
I'm too new, dude.
All right. I'm going.
Can't you like be prepared and like have the standing pulled up or something?
I literally have it.
Go tell me yours, Brodey, and then I'll give you.
All right. So I'm thinking you dogs are taking the 1 seed.
Oh, it's us.
No, you dogs are taking the 1 seed. I'm not going to be biased about this. Well, maybe a little. I think we're taking the 2 seed, and then it's going to be Bison for 3.
That's mine. I agree with that.
And then American Conference, I'm saying Bambinos are going 1, Lynx are 2, and Express are 3. Those are my playoff picks.
Yeah, I think underdogs finish first. I think
Don't hold back. Just go for it.
I'll go Waves second.
Yeah.
I think Bison third. Rapids are going to miss. On the other side, Bambinos will take first probably. Give me the Lynx too still, and I'm taking the Express, even though they lost to the Wrecking Crew. I think they'll find a way to get in there somehow, and they'll make it as the third.
So we got the same picks.
I agree.
All right, all three of us unanimously agree.
All in unison.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll
so
see
you
what
have
happens.
less than a minute remaining on this free recording, so.
All right. Well, since we're a poverty podcast, we can't afford to pay for Zoom
Hey, but
Premium.
you know what? There's a podcast again.
There's a show. We got a talk show. So I mean, hopefully we're gonna try and do these after every game day and just break some stuff down, talk about some stuff, have some different people on. But just wanted to get a shot